Well, hello everyone. This is Carol Messina and I'm with Carnegie Learning. Welcome and thanks so much for taking the time today to examine digutalACE. What is digutalACE? digutalACE is an application for math that redefines math curriculum. It also empowers the students to personalize their learning using dynamic research proven math curriculum. So I'm going to enter my password. And log in. There we go. You see our classes, the assignments, and then I could put any notices right underneath the date. Right now, I'm logged in as the teacher. It's period 7. I'm going to click done. And I want to show you within the dashboard that I can change my syllabus to align with my needs as well as the students' needs. So we're going to click on change syllabus. And we're going to go into course 2. And on the left-hand side, you're going to see the available topics, Algebra 1, Common Core Aligned, and then you'll see Algebra 2, Course 2, Course 3. On the right-hand side, you'll see the current topics that I'm actively teaching. Well, let's say, for example, I'm teaching 7th graders, but they're a little bit more advanced, and I believe that some of my 7th graders are ready to learn linear equations and linear functions, also analyzing linear equations. So we're going to click on each one of these, and we're going to add them to the right-hand side. And there we go. Down on the bottom, we have listed as number 20, 21, and 22, linear equations, functions, and analyzing linear equations. Well, I would like to teach linear equations and linear functions more at the top of my current topics rather than on the bottom. So I'm going to edit this and change the syllabus to the sequence that I want it to be in. So I'm going to click edit, and you see on the left, everything turns into little red circles. I'm going to click on linear equations and move it up so that now that's become number 11. And take linear functions, and I'm going to move that up here. Oh, so let's take a look. We have linear equations, linear functions. Let me just move this up a little bit further. Okay, so there it is. I moved 19 and 20 to 11 and 12. Now, if I want to delete any of these, I can do that by simply tapping on analyzing linear equations, and then I would hit the delete button. But because this is a canned demo, we're not going to delete anything. We're just going to get out of this. We're going to cancel. Yes, cancel. And now we're back to our lesson opener. I also would like to show you that we can tap on class options and settings, go back to our dashboard, And now I'm going to go to Options and Settings. And as we can see in the Applications and Settings, there's a variety of things that I could use right at my fingertips. So, let's take a look at some of these, shall we? For allowing saving passwords, I'd want to turn that feature on, because if I have a whole bunch of students in my classroom and they would like to save their passwords so they don't have to be bothered logging in, we would need to have one iPad to every student. However, if I have my iPads on a rolling cart, I wouldn't want any student to have access to another student's information, so I don't want this option to be used, so I would turn it off. When I'm teaching class, sometimes I want to allow the students to use their calculators, so I would turn that on. Other topics on teaching, I don't really feel they should be using a calculator at all. I turn that feature off. Here's another one, allowing the students to raise their hands. You know how there's always a student who keeps raising their hand and the other students poke fun of that student. Well, here, very silently, their hands are raised, so I know whose questions I have to either answer or get to at a later point in my lesson. But I could just look at my iPad and know who's raising their hands. Take a look at some of the other features we have. Show up warm-up activities, show standards, and when you get to all of this, this is really beneficial to the teacher as well as to the students. So we're going to go into class settings and options. We're going to get out of this, and now we're going to go to a lesson which is going to show you the standards. So we're going to go to topic 1 and 1. A park ranger's work is never done. Okay. And while we're waiting for this to come up, you're going to see the lesson opener. And the lesson opener shows you the overview, the introduction, the learning goals, the essential ideas. Look at these key terms. And my learning standards are right here for you to see, right at the bottom of my iPad. So, within every topic, there's going to be a lesson opener, a lesson warm-up, and I'm going to walk you through all of this. Let's go to the warm-up, and you're going to see within a park ranger's work is never done. The warm-up is going to show us that I can tap right by the teacher's implementation guide, right over here. Oops. Just a second. Some technological issue. Here we go. I tapped on the teacher's implementation guide, and what you're going to see is all the information in the body of the lesson for the teacher. It will give me an activity summary. It will give me some great grouping ideas, as well as some strategies for my questions. All right. We'll scroll through this. Now, suppose I want to add my own question. I'm going to tap. I'm going to click. I'm going to tap my microphone. And I could talk into the microphone and ask the students, how do you know? And it's going to record my voice and type that note right here on the left. See that? How do you know? So that message is going to stay there, and each time I teach my lesson, I know to ask that question. We're going to go to the settings menu. And we're going to click on Start a Class. And it's going to take me back to period 7. And very often, when the teacher is using a lesson opener, she's going to ask the students to use it at the beginning of class to activate, prior knowledge. I could also, on my settings, show oops, I've got to get out of that. We're going to go to linear functions, and we're going to go to topic 5. Okay, now we're in US Shirts as our lesson opener. When I want the students, all eyes to be on me, I go to my dashboard and I can just tap on all eyes on teacher. That means all of my students are going to be watching me as I model this lesson for them or listen to my instructions. Now we're going to go into cost analysis. Oops. Here we go. We're into cost analysis right now. I have the ability as a teacher to ask the students open-ended questions. And sometimes I want to perform a poll. I would use the poll as a formative assessment. This quick formative assessment will enable me as a teacher to identify which students need remediation or which lessons I truly need to reteach. So I'll walk you through that now. We'll click the poll at the top, and I'm going to type my question. So in this case, my question is going to be, what's the cost for 0 reams? What is the cost for 0 reams? Question mark. Okay. Now I'm going to type in the multiple choice answers for my students. So their choices would be $0. I could also put in $15, $25,